Good afternoon. I thought some of you might appreciate a screencast of me going through the process of completing the task in class today. Obviously, if you haven't started this or you haven't tried it yet, it would be better to try it on your own before listening to this and watching this. But if you want some resources to go through, I think this could be one that is helpful. We're going to start with stage one. I'm not going to read through the document, and I'm not going to do much direct instruction on this. I'm mostly just going to type and explain what it is that I'm typing as I go along. So the document is here. Hopefully you have a copy of the document. It's in the stream, if not. I'm going to start by creating a brand new project inside of NetBeans. So when I do that, I'm going to choose a Java application. Since we're working with a person class and people class, I'm going to call this one person people. I'm going to make sure I don't create a main class, and I'll click finish. Within my new project, I'm going to create a new class, and I'll call this one the driver class. I've also called it the demo class, and I'll first do it for driver for the person class. And I'll just minimize this stuff, and I'll put in here a public, not typing. There we go. Public static void main with my array of arguments. And I'm just going to leave that there for right now. And then I'll also create a new class for the class person. And this is going to be for my class person. Okay. I'm going to find it a little bit convenient to just give me, to start with a few comments in here. So I have my data fields. I'm going to have a space for my constructors. I'm going to have a face for my my accessors and mutators. And then I'll have my instance functions. Data fields have already been explained. I need a name of a person, a string value, so I'll make that private. Name. And I need a value for whether they are a citizen or not. I need an double or whether for what their income is. And I need two static variables for the citizen tax rate which is going to be 7%. Oops, I forgot to include the type. And that rate is, I believe, 11%. You can always come back and add more of these values later. For constructors, I'm going to create a default constructor. Oh, my computer is being quite slow. Public person. There's my default constructor. And then I'll do one that allows me to set the name, whether they're a citizen, and the income. So I'll need a string, name. I'll need a Boolean, the citizenship, and I'll need a double, income. And then, like most constructors, I'm just going to move those things into the data fields. So I'm just moving the arguments will come into these three parameters, and then those three parameters will move them into the data fields. I'm just waiting for NetBeans to catch up with me. There we go. Accessors and mutators, these are your getters and setters. I'll type them out, but I'm going to do a lot of copying and pasting. So I'll start with the getters. Get name, no arguments, and it's just going to return the value of name. I forgot to put a type in here for the return type, which is obviously going to be string. And I failed to close the curly brace correctly. Oops, a bit upset about. Oh, there's the parentheses still. Got it. Next one, we'll get the citizenship status, which is a Boolean. And the citizen status. And then the last one, get the income. And all we have to do there is return income. The setters are also very similar. Set name. That's going to take a string n. Notice that this is going to be very, very similar to what happens inside of my my constructor. So we're just going to do name equals n. Set citizen. Oops. My mistake. Of course, these are just voids. They don't return anything. Citizen equals sit. Did I accidentally put that in parentheses? I did. I'm continuing to have trouble with NetBeans. It really doesn't like it when I'm also screen recording, apparently. Yep, I made a mistake. I did parentheses instead of curly braces. Let's fix that. Got it. Oops, semicolon's in the wrong place. Go. And public, finally, void set income. I'll need to take a double value, income equals C. Catch up, please. I made a typo. Okay, so those are my accessors and mutators. And now I have one instance method, which is the getTax method that returns the income tax. So we'll say public double get tax. It doesn't need to take any arguments, so I'll just put the empty parentheses there. And there's a different tax rate that's for the citizens and the non-citizens. So I'm going to have to check which one we have. So we'll say if citizen, and we'll return income times, what was the name of that variable? Citizen rate. And then the else is going to be return income times that rate. It's upset about something with this closed curly brace. Nope, now it's fine. Okay, so now I've built all of the pieces that it wants me to have for my class. I've got the data fields, the constructors, the accessors, and the mutators, and the instance methods. And now we're going to go and use that class. I have to remember some of the names of these. I'm going to just do that, do my best to remember them. So to start with, I'm going to need to make my citizens. So I'll just go with names, person. I'll do P1, and this is going to be a new person. And to use the constructor, I'll put in the name of John, who is a citizen and has an income of 20,000. And person P2 will be a new person who is named Peter, who is not an expat, sorry, not a citizen, is an expat, and makes 40,000. And then we want to check to make sure that our get tax method works. So we will say system.out.println, and we'll say, well, let's make it nice. So we'll say the person, and then we'll say plus p1.get name. So we'll get the person's name. And we'll say carriage return here. We'll pay, and then we'll do p1.get tax. Whoops, I forgot the T here. And then we'll copy that, and we'll just make the quick change to make it print out for P2. And we will check to make sure that that works. So we'll run the file. The person John will pay. Look, we get this weird sort of rounding error for a floating point number, but we have the person John will pay this, the person Peter will pay that. We can check those numbers if we want with our calculator, but we know that 7% of 10,000 is 700, so 1,400 makes sense. But we are getting this weird floating point math thing. That's strange. I don't know why we see that. Okay, so we have our person class and we have that working. Now I'm going to switch back to the document. Now we're looking to create a people class that uses the person class. And we've got some information here that's already laid out for us. So I'm going to copy and paste that. And I'll put that into a new class that we call people. Oops, I can spell it right. P-O-P-L-E. Finish. And I will paste that in here. And we already see that there's a problem because this array list is here. Also, the P for private should not be spelled with a capital P. But we don't know about array lists in this program, so import java.util.array list. And now we do know about that. Let me highlight these and tab them in. It has all the information that we need. Unfortunately, my screen, oh wait, I know what I can do. I'm gonna just minimize this, then it'll fit. Okay. Ooh, also when we type this up, we must have forgot to put a semicolon here. Oh, please don't crash the computer. I would really rather not crash my computer and get this whole video to be done with in one go. Oh, it came back. Great. Okay, wants a default constructor. That one's easy. Oh wait, this was supposed to be tabbed in. There we go. Public people. Default constructor. Easy peasy. Public people. Oh, whoops. I didn't pay attention to that. I made a mistake. Resident list here was not created as a new array list. And so the constructor should initialize the array list. You can do it in two different places. I'll do it inside the constructor, but you don't have to. But I'll do it here. So we'll say resident list equals new array list person. We have to call the constructor in order to actually make the array list. Oops. So here we're just making that. It's also possible, if you wanted to just fix this by having this line of code up here. But I'll follow the intent and construct it here. Of course, public people, which is going to load in the data list from 3 parallel arrays, is of course going to have to first initialize this. And then we have to set it up to receive the information from those 3 arrays. So we're going to have a string array, which I'll call n. It's going to have a Boolean array we'll call sit. And it's going to have a double array called income. Oops, put brackets here, follow my convention. Okay, now that we have our resident list, I'm going to have to go through the arrays. We're going to assume that they're parallel arrays. We could do a check, but we're not going to. For int I equals 0, I is less than, let's do n. n.length, I plus plus. And then for each one, we're going to resident list dot add a new person and calling the constructor n I sit I and inc I. So I apparently typed an M instead of a comma. There we go. So we're just creating a new person from the name, from the citizen, and from the income amount. So we're going to add those, one for each person. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to stop here for a moment to create the driver class for the people class. So I'm going to create a new Java class for driver people. This one is also going to need a public static void main. String array, args, lots of typing here tonight. And so now, when we want to use the constructor for the people class, we'll use a new people. And we'll call it, maybe we'll call it, I don't know, my minions is going to be equal to a new people. And in this case, I'm going to actually need to put in the information. So I'll need names. I'll need citizenship status. And I will need income. It means, of course, that I need those arrays here. So I'll create a new string array names that's going to hold my 2 people. I only have really 2 people, not many minions, but I have John and I have Peter, and their Boolean citizen status, TUS. I think John was and Peter was not. And now I have their double, their income. And that's going to be, I think John was 20,000 and Peter was 40,000. So I have my 3 parallel arrays here. And so now I've created these minions. Right? And so I have my 3, and I can call this, and I haven't done anything with it yet because I don't have any methods inside of there. Now, the task doesn't actually ask me to create the mutator methods, which I kind of appreciate because in this case, it would be really a little bit silly to get or set anything here because I'm not going to send in the whole array list. There's only one variable, so I don't really want to get the whole array list, or I certainly don't want to set it. I guess I could technically want to get it. But we're not going to need to. Now we have some methods that we want to create. Get citizens tax, get expat tax, and get total tax. So let's do those. Public. This is going to be a double that it returns. Can I get this working again? Double. Oops. Get citizens tax. TOU, oh my goodness. Double CITIZENS tax. Get citizens tax. And this one is going to need to return the total tax paid. So what I'm going to need to do here for this method, I'm thinking I'm going to need to go through each person inside of my resident list and figure out, are they a citizen or are they not? And if they are, I need to get the tax. So first let me put a double variable in here for total tax, or maybe I'll call it revenue, and I'll set it equal to 0. And then I'll go through using an enhanced for loop for person P inside of the resident list. Please. NetBeans is deeply unhappy with me recording this. I really hope that it comes out. Person, whoops, no bracket there. Person P in the resident list. And then if P dot get citizen, I don't need to say is equal to true. It just if get citizen. So if they're a citizen, come on, catch up, please. Then I'll need to get the tax and add it to my revenue. So I'll do revenue plus equals P dot get tax. And then after I've gone through the whole list, I'll return revenue. Easy peasy. Now the citizens tax is pretty close to what I need for the expat tax. So I'll just copy and paste it and change it up a little bit. This time, if they're a non-citizen, so I'll change this to not. So if they're not a citizen, then I'll get their tax for the expat tax. That was easy. And then I'll make the last method for the total tax. And this is get total tax. And then in this case, I don't even need to check if they're a citizen or not, because I'm going to get their tax money either way. So I'll delete the conditional that's here. And now I'll just take tax from everyone and return the revenue. Something's unhappy. What is it? Oh, I dropped that curly brace. There we go. Now let's wait for it to be happy, and then we can go and call those three methods to just check. So in driver people, we're going to just put some quick things in here. We'll do, let's see, system n. We'll say tax from citizens, colon, and we'll add, what was the name? Oh yeah, my minions. Get citizens tax. Sorry, that doesn't quite fit. And we'll just copy and paste that to do the, why is it unhappy here? Illegal start of type. Oh, I'm outside of my main method. That was a mistake. Okay, we fixed that. And so the tax from expats, we just change that up, get the expat tax. And then we'll do it one last time. Tax from all, and we'll get the total tax. Okay, we've got it all set up. Let's run it, make sure that it's working. And oh, let's try that one more time. Where did my, so we got 1,400 coming from the citizens, 4,400 coming from the expats for a total of 5,800. So that was the task for today. I hope that is a little bit of a help in walking you through it. If you need the help, like I said, if you're having trouble with this, it's definitely time to make an appointment so that we can meet. Good talking to you, and I'll talk to you again soon.